I'll be honest, I have no idea how to start a video like this. Some of you will be aware, some of you won't be aware, but the title probably actually kind of gives what this video is about away. Last week, Saturday the 4th, my granddad was rushed into hospital. I did put a community post up just letting you guys know what the deal was, how there wouldn't be any videos and stuff like that. Unfortunately, on Friday, so Friday just gone, he unfortunately did end up passing away. I know it's not like a nice thing to really talk about. Honestly, I don't even know what to say or how to say it. You know what I mean? It's obviously one of those things that I don't know. Like you guys have stuck with me through thick and thin. You know, so I think it's pretty much only like fair to just keep everybody in the loop. I think, just let you guys know sort of what's going on. Obviously, why there's no content, why there's no streams, and just sort of what's happening, But yeah, unfortunately, he did have, some really bad kidney issues, among some other things, which we are now slowly starting to find out. Because we are in the process currently of, having to empty his bungalow, and well, we're finding medical letters and appointment cards and all that for stuff that he didn't want to tell the family about. So there's a few things that were wrong that we're just learning about now. But yeah, the big one was kidney issues. When he went into the hospital, his kidneys were only at 4%, unfortunately. If you don't know what that means, anything below 15% is basically stage 5 kidney failure. And he did end up with sepsis as well. He did have a really bad infection, and it got to the point where his organs basically just ended up shutting down on him. Obviously, when he first went in hospital last week, me and the family were up there pretty much every day. I think at first we thought it'd be the same as last year. He'd spend a couple of weeks in hospital. He'd get the treatment he needed. He'd enjoy a couple of nice sponge baths from the nurses, and then he'd be home as his old self. Unfortunately, after a couple of days, we realised that was not going to be the case, unfortunately. Rather than any improvements, it was just a lot of deterioration. Thankfully, he was medicated quite well towards the end, so he wasn't in pain when he went, which is obviously all we can really ask for. And the whole family was there at the time, which again, it's all we can really ask for, given the circumstances. But yeah, he ended up losing the fight on Friday at 8:05 at night, unfortunately. So that's where I've been. It's like I have no idea when content is going to resume. Obviously, we still have a lot to do. We've got to sort his bungalow out. We've got to obviously contact all the like utility companies and inform them, and there's obviously the funeral arrangements and all that sort of stuff. So it's still, a long way to go. But we'll get there. It's one of those things. We'll sort it. We'll get there. as for me, honestly, it's hard. It's definitely hard. Over the past month or so, we've been going up, and Mum's just been helping him out, doing little bits of shopping and topping his electric up and all that sort of stuff. Because he had a problem with gout, so he was just having a little bit of trouble moving around and all that. So it was just business as usual. And obviously because of that, during those few trips, I waited in the car while she ran the stuff in and all that. So unfortunately, I did not really get to speak to him. I didn't really get to say goodbye properly. Simply wasn't expecting this to happen, but then nobody ever really does, do they? And then when he was in hospital, unfortunately, health-wise, he wasn't quite there. He wasn't quite lucid. So again, wasn't really able to have a conversation. And that's something that I have to deal with, basically. But I think it's one of them. It's real, but it's also not real at the same time. It was not nice watching him go. But then someone had to stay strong for the rest of the family. So that was my unlucky job, unfortunately. But it hit me kind of, but it hasn't fully hit me yet, which it probably won't for a little bit. I think it's one of the things where I need to slowly come to terms with things. But the funeral will probably be the moment, I think. But obviously we don't have anything sort of planned with that yet. We're not quite at that stage just yet. We need to go through his will and find out everything that he wanted, and we're still waiting on hearing back from the mortuary and stuff like that, find out if a post-mortem is needed. But I'm quite lucky in that regard. Mum is dealing with that stuff, so it's just a case of waiting for the messages to be passed along, basically. It's gonna suck. I've looked up funeral costs. They're not cheap, but the whole family is obviously prepared to step in with that. Luckily enough, we're going to have the wake where Jem works. So that'll basically that'll be taken care of. Jem's going to arrange all that for us. So there's one big load taken care of. At the minute, we're in the process of clearing the bungalow, which is obviously lots of trips down memory lane. Unfortunately, he was really big into his fishing. He loved his fishing. The whole bungalow is full of fish. It's like my youngest sister has took the tropicals. He does have some very big carp though, which we can't really take. So we're actually getting in touch with like a reserve that will take them for us. A lot of the fishing stuff as well is actually going to a charity that he was involved in, like an angling charity for kids. Like kids who are, struggling with the system and stuff like that, getting them off the streets and getting them involved in fishing. He was a big part of that. So a lot of his fishing stuff is going to them, which he definitely would have wanted. So that'll make him quite happy, that's for sure, because he knows it'll be helping a lot of people, So that's what we're at with that. But obviously, it's a slow process. There's a lot of memories. I mean, everything everything in there is memory. Even the things that you don't expect. It's like we went up, not yesterday, 2 days ago, just to make a start. We went up on the Saturday, so one day after it happened, because it was still fresh. But if we waited, it would have been a lot harder, I think. So we went up to make a start, and as soon as you walked in, it was the smell. We could. It smelled like him. You know what I mean? So it's like as soon as you walked in there, you couldn't help but stop and think. Like you didn't even have to look at anything really before you started thinking about him. He was a big fisher. So when I was little, I'd always call him Smelly Grandad, and my little nieces, they call him Fishy Grandad. So there's a lot of memories, but it's one of them at this point. Unfortunately, everybody has a time to go, and this was his. As my nan says, he had a good inning. He was 81. So he had a good inning. That is for sure. But yeah, but I just wanted to keep you guys in the loop. You guys have been with me through a lot of problems. And I feel like I owe you guys an update. As I said, content. I don't know when that is going to resume. It is honestly not going to be this week. I don't know if it'll be next week. I don't know if it'll be the week after. I don't know. But yeah, so it's one of them. All I can really say is rest in peace, Grandad.